Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Building a Nation, the final episode of the season 12 wrapping up. It's a gutting one really because of what happened in the last episode, but I feel like stuff like that happening is what makes FM so good. And I'm trying to be on the positive side here because stuff like that it's stuff like that happens in football. You get those absolutely gut-wrenching moments, but then you also get the other side of those things. Now, admittedly, over recent time, like we had the 2-0 win away at Bayern. That was one of those like amazing moments. And honestly, I thought that winning in the Bernabeu was going to be one of those amazing moments too, and it kind of was, if it just wasn't for the second leg being such an absolute clusterfuck. But there you go. So we're going to have to build for next season is all I'm going to say. Today, though, it's all about trying to finish off this season in style. Today, we're starting on the page of Grzegorz Zawistowski, who is playing for Bayern Munich. He came through at Leverkusen, but he is a Polish international. It's one of the many ones that came through over in the German leagues. And that's because of this comment. Could you please show us Zawistowski, the guy from Bayern? Maybe we'll try to sign him, as I suppose he's Polish. The first bit I can do, the part where we sign him ain't gonna happen. Because, for a start, he's already worth £53 million. Secondly, he's on 135 grand a week. Like, these things, we simply cannot compete with these kinds of wages on our players. It's just not going to happen, unfortunately. Chances are, Polish players, once they leave the country, are very, very difficult to get back again. I nearly managed to get Malek back. But it just wasn't going to happen, unfortunately. Plus, we were already stacked in the right-back slot. Where did the right-back go? He spotted the famous Polish actor Andrzej Blumenfeld in the crowd and ran up there to get his autograph. Whoa. Is that Wojciech Szczesny at bloody Swansea? Yes, it is. Like I said earlier, he left Piast and went to Swansea. So he's moving up in the world of Polish football and constantly chatting shit. Zag gets it. They have your former players. That's exactly right. Zag seem to be the only team that understand that signing our former players and taking players from us is a good thing. They're the only ones that are making use of it. And there's a reason why they've gone from being mid-table mediocrity to being in a Champions League battle this season. And I believe it's because of our players. Admittedly, the lack of Marilison has kind of really hurt them after Christmas. Was inspired by your series to start building a nation with Hibernian in Scotland. Big teams wanting my players is a major problem. Yeah. That is an issue. Now, I think we've been very fortunate because of Alberto Freitas. Now, for the first couple of seasons that we had Freitas, first couple of windows, he'd always complain about wanting to leave, and generally I'd be able to talk him around eventually when clubs just didn't meet his valuation or whatever. We got away with that, quite frankly. However, after that, he seemed to, grow attached or whatever, and I would never have any problems with keeping him. But that's not the main thing. The fact that he's our captain means that he's an incredibly influential player in the squad, and he's one of the best players, if not the best player at the club. And he is an absolute goldmine for getting players to stay at the club. I don't think I've ever had a player with a success rate as high as his. It is crazy. Keep it coming. Surprised you haven't had a green screen set up, though. I do have a green screen. There just ain't any room for it, because I'm at an angle as well. There just simply isn't room for me to have a green screen in here, unfortunately. So that's that, really. And, yeah, to me, it's like a minor thing that doesn't make that much difference. I would like to have less space in that, but it's not worth it for now. If I get a situation where I've got room, then I will absolutely do it. I've got it behind there, but I can't use it. Briefly on the topic of Freitas, he actually has signed a new contract with us. He wanted a new one. He had 3 years left, and I thought we should probably appease him because he is the man. So he is going to be our highest paid player now. I think he's on £40,000 a week, or 41,000, which is a lot, but there's no clauses particularly. So, and frankly, if there's anyone that deserves 40 grand a week, it is Alberto Freitas. So, games off camera, coming back today for Rakov and Lech Poznan. Fresh off the disappointment in the Champions League, we thrashed Gornik 3-0. It's so nice to put a win over them. I don't know what we did different, to be perfectly honest, but we did. So Vedra grabbed himself a goal, 2 more from Blaise Ilicic. He got a man of the match award and an assist on the night as well, along with his 2 goals. He has been the breakout star for me this year. We then followed that with a 3-1. It should have been more. And also, we frustrating to concede a late goal against them, but there you go. A pair of goals for Zviggy, one for Jacobo Garcia, but the late goal from Anel Subasic didn't do us any favours. Unfortunately, we then did drop some points, against Lechia in the league. This was a frustrating as hell one. Zviggy, we actually came from behind here because Pinter gave them the lead with their only shot on target of the game, would you believe? Zviggy then missed a penalty, but was able to grab us a late equaliser in this one. But it's disappointing, though, because he could have had more. He's missed a couple of pens lately. But we then took our frustrations out in the Polish Cup final. I figured we'd just go to the end of the season this time to make things a bit easier. A 4-2 victory then. 2 goals conceded. For the first time, I think, this season in the league as well. Orozco grabbed another brace. Campagnaro grabbed one. And Frederick Robin doing it. Orozco now has 12 goals this year. Then a nice cushy 2-0 victory away at Legia in the league. Zviggy grabbed a goal. Saavedra grabbed a goal. Another assist for Lisic. And lastly, a 3-0 victory over Zag. Again, Zviggy missed a penalty. He could have more goals. Goal for Gorosito and one for Frederick Robin. Gorosito was excellent on the night, though. Really making the most of it this year as we pumped Zag into the ground. Leaving us currently sitting well top of the league, obviously as champions, as you'd expect. Zviggy 21 goals in the league now. Lisic third in the league as well there with 14. He also has 12 assists. 14 goals and 12 assists for Blaise Lisek is bloody fantastic. He's also probably going to win Man of the Match award there. Really nice. One downside, though, is we had the shortlist through for player of the season. Not a single player from our club was on it. There's like 10 players on the list. Not one of our players made the list. What? Anyway, we've got games today to see if we can actually finally finish a season unbeaten, which would be very, very nice. Just got to get through the last 2 matches. And then we've got other games, looking at the other leagues as well. So it's always a nice little relaxing episode to finish off the season. I'm not going to record the analysis video directly after this one. You'll still see it like that because I need a break based on what happened in that earlier video. So, just going to do a quick pick, shuffle things around a little bit. Alberacin's been missing for a bit, but I'm going to bring Rursa back in. Apoku actually made a start recently too. I don't want to start Robin. I want to start Zvigi. Of course, I've been trying to stick with the same kind of team for the most part. Gorossi, Saavedra or Campagnaro? I'm going to bring Campers back in again. And Franceschi, I'm still going to trust him over Iglesias just because we need to get this over the line. So on the bench, Victor Hugo, Albarracin, Jovanovic, Roban, Pandurovic and Garcia along with Trivs. Actually, no, what I'm going to do, I could put Idchak on the bench too, instead of Jovanovic. Because I'd like to bring him on and give him some game time, since I love the guy. Oh, he's already wanted. Is he wanted? Who's he wanted by? No surprises. This has to be the most defensive system that we ever come up against during these during the league indefinitely. But all we need to do is come out and not lose. I don't care if we draw both of these final 2 games. I just want to finish the season unbeaten and finally get an unbeaten season in FM. I don't think I've ever done it. I don't think I did it with Red Star, and that would have been the closest I would have had the chance to do something like that. I don't think we even did it with Frozen Fortunes with B67 because the Danish league's pretty solid. I don't think I've ever done the unbeaten year, and this could be the year that we finally get it over the line. Weirdly, though, we'll have actually had less points on the board. We conceded more, and I think probably scored less. So it does show, I believe, that the league is getting better because, remember, we've got stronger based on the way we're performing in Europe. So I think it's definitely a good sign for the Polish league. Ivanov whips one across. Lisek, not quite. And I do think it is a good sign. I know we went out to Real Madrid in those circumstances, but I do still think we've made progress this year at looking much more confident in those games. Lisek, good block. And I do still think it has been a season of progress. The fact is we matched ourselves from last year. And, you know, it's never going to always be progress upon progress, but this year I still think we've done that. One thing I'd also say is I'm kind of glad that Lech looked likely to get the Champions League spot there because I feel like they'd have a better shot at actually getting into the group stages than Zag would. And also Zag have no coefficient. Oh, and Zvigi has scored again. 34 goals this year for Mateusz Zwigawa. You can't fault the guy, really, when he's grabbed 34 goals this year. Sure, 22 of which have been in the league, but that does mean, remember, he got 7 goals in the Champions League in 10 matches. What a ball in from Blaise Lisek, too. That is a sensational cross. And, yeah, bad goalkeeping, but what a great little team up between those two. Another assist for Blaise. Lovely. So it's been a lot tighter than I thought it would be, considering Gorosito, and it's in the back of the net, and that's given us the 12th goal of the season for Brian Gorosito as well. Oyaneda knocks it down to him. That should do it. Also, Lechia, 4-0 up away at Lech Poznan, still giving them a chance of not qualifying. At this rate, Legia could still get into the Champions League, which would be crazy. And that will do it. 2-0 victory at Rakov. We gave them nothing on the night and got the victory in the end. But it's the other games that are going on now. Technically, any of those 3 sides I still think could grab the Champions League spot. And technically, Zag could still fall down to 5th in the end here. Getting very dicey. Relegations are all wrapped up. Motor, Skra, unfortunately, both go down along with Piast as well, which is a shame. Swansk struggling this year. But it's really going down to the final day to see who's going to get into that Champions League spot. It could still be any of those teams, really. Legia have come from nowhere. Anyway, let's get on to that. Right, so we're back. Something interesting has happened. I'll just show you. So Legia had their game, the final day of the season game, early, and they beat Zag 4-1 away from home, which means Legia are currently in 2nd spot. But in order to get that position back, Lech have to beat us, I think. So this could get very interesting. It looks like Legia might well have just come out of nowhere and swooped into the Champions League spot on the final day of the season. So there's that. Also, in other good news, we got a news article through to say that Mateusz Zwigawa is now the top scorer in history for Polonia Warszawa. He's just overtaken Christian Pichara of the original team, basically. So that's quite an achievement for Zvigi to have overtaken him. He's now on to 76 goals for the club. Really, really pleased for him. So we'll just do a quick pick again. Shuffle stuff around a little bit. Obviously, Zvigi's starting the final day of the season. As for everyone else, surely Silva could play. Oh, he's a little bit on the knackered side. Probably going to go with that. We'll bring Franceschi back in as well. So, Zvigi, Lisek, Gorosito, Saavedra, Orozco. Actually, should we play Carroll on the final day? Give him a little run. It's always nice to see Carroll get out there. And everybody else is all good. Can't include Idchak because of international duty, which is a shame. So on the bench, Hugo, Pandurovic, Churievo, Roban, Albarracin, and of course Diego Silva. Wait, if he's fit enough for the bench, yeah, I can see why. This is a big moment for us because there's a lot on the line in this game. We want that unbeaten season. Lech. So yeah, as things stand, even if Lech get a draw against us, it's not enough. In order for them to get into the Champions League now, they have to end our unbeaten season. This is going to be very, very interesting. Also got to keep an eye on the Lechia game, because if they win, they go into 4th place, and Zag slip all the way down to 5th. They will still qualify for the Europa League, but not in style. Oh no, they're already through. What a stop from Franceschi. It's starting already. Quevedo's ball in. Back post, and Orozco will clear it. Zviggy's onto it too. We've actually somehow still got the ball away. And Lisek could keep that in. He has. Here we go. Men surging onto the other side of the pitch. Lisek finds one of them. It's Carroll. Oh, over the crossbar. Might just turn it to positive, so we're not completely overthrowing here. Lisek, Freitas! And there it is. It's 1-0 after 5 minutes. Alberto Freitas, his 6th goal of the year, and Blaise Lisek with another assist this season. He's basically had a Rafael Rodriguez-esque season. Look at this look at that for a pick out. Freitas with the volley. We're 1-0 up at home to Lech Poznan, and surely now we're going to go unbeaten. Okay, we're starting to take a little bit more control now. Lisek is having a blinding season. Carroll. Lisek. Goes past one. Whips it all the way through. Carroll's come back to him. Zvigowa. Post again. We've hit the woodwork again. Out wide for Ivanov. Go on, dig one out. You know you want to. Zvigowa! There we go. 2-0. 35 goals this season for Zvigowa. He has smashed our goal scoring record for a season, and what a year he's had. Being a striker has definitely helped him an awful lot. 35 goals this season. I think that might well have just equaled Victor Hugo's goal scoring in the league record, 2 of 23. I think he needs one more to better that, unless he did it himself. I can't remember. And I still think there's a progress is being made. Zvigowa's header, save, Carroll. Oh, what? How was that stayed out the net? I'm also feeling really positive about the next generation of players. They really are starting to make their mark this year, and that's incredibly encouraging. And more to take it. And, oh, is it that? Yeah, Franceschi did get a touch on that. Hello, breakaway chance. Zvigowa. Out wide for Rursa this time. Roscoe cleared. Ivanov picks it up. Oh, space inside for Lisek. Great save. Lisek picks it up. Wonderful first touch. Slips it inside for Kevin. What a bit of play that was from Blaise Lisek. Few seconds to go, and then we're unbeaten for the season. Come on, lads. Ivanov with the throw in. Just throw it in. And there we go. All over. A 2-0 victory, and we've gone unbeaten for the season. Less points than we've had in previous years, and less goals scored, more conceded. But I think that's more down to the strength of the league. We held on and got the unbeaten year. Come on. So that's how things look. Somehow Legia Warszawa, out of nowhere, they've conceded 43 goals this season, are somehow in the Champions League for next season. Lech Poznan, Zag and Lechia go into the Europa League. I don't know how they've done that. At no point this year have they been in second spot. They were 4th coming into the championship group. That was the highest spot they'd been all season, and now they ended up finishing 2nd. Because when you look, they were never higher than 4th during the regular season, and they've somehow stuck into 2nd spot. That's insane. So there we have it. 23 goals for Zvigowa this season, 14 assists for Lisek in the end. He's surely going to win player of the season in there too, which is fantastic. Let's check the bottom half. We already did kind of know that, but Katowice again winning it. But just do one better, guys, please. So down in the seconds here, which is yet to finish. Corona doing very well, looking likely to come up. Zag in there too. The usual suspects, basically. And the usual suspects also seem to be going down. Down in this division, no surprises there. Actually, I'll tell you what, Zheshtsov, I haven't seen them do that well before, so they're up there too. Anyone else that's surprising? Not particularly. The fact that a 13th place side could qualify and get promoted is ridiculous, but that's Polish football in this division. In the Premier League, Manchester United win it this season, which is kind of cool for them, I suppose. Arsenal in there as well with Chelsea and Liverpool. City only get the Europa League with Southampton in behind and Everton. Spurs come 8th this year. Down go Fulham, West Brom and Reading. No huge surprises in La Liga. Barcelona are champions. Atletico come 2nd. Sociedad do qualify for the Champions League again, though, with Real Madrid in there too. Sevilla and Espanyol. No, it appears that Espanyol aren't in the Europa League. Interesting. Vallecano, Las Palmas and Cadiz will go down. In League PSG do another unbeaten season, get 110 points. Monaco get 95 points this year and don't win the league. The poor sods, they really are. Lyon into 3rd play there. Nice and Montpellier up there as well. Down go Paris FC, who are managed by Yannick Balassi, I found out from a news article, along with Nîmes and Nancy are in the playoffs. Still a few games left to go in Serie A though. Milan look pretty solid and a good spot for the title. Inter up there too. The fact is, though, Lazio and Atalanta could get in the Champions League and Juventus could fall out of it. Is quite a surprise in there as well. Not Cagliari aren't relegated yet. Pescara and Spal look likely to go. Roma are only 7 points off the relegation zone. Okay. In the Bundesliga, Bayern, of course, champions. Schalke, Dortmund and Leverkusen into the Europa League. The Champions League. Leipzig miss out, which is actually kind of good in a way, I think, because their coefficient... Them and Tottenham missing out is good because it's going to move us up the coefficient chart for next year. We might be able to get pot 2 based on that. Nuremberg go down along with Freiburg and Dusseldorf. And last but not least, over in the Netherlands, Ajax are champions, no surprises there. PSV Eindhoven and Utrecht are back in the Champions League. Fair play to them. Feyenoord into the Europa League along with NAC Breda, down go Twente, Fortuna Sittard, and Cambuur, who had a dreadful year and only won 1 game out of 34. Pretty piss poor. So there you go. A full season. We only lost 3 games in the entire year. We lost 4-3 at home to Real Madrid. We lost 1-0 at home to Juventus, and we lost 2-0 away at Paris Saint-Germain. It's a shame, but those are some big... I mean, if that's the only 3 teams we've managed to lose to this year, then I think we're on the right track. Next year, I feel like we can go one better, definitely. But even if we don't, I still feel like there's progress being made. Players are improving. The squad is improving. I think there's a real chance that we could be pot 2 next year because of the certain teams missing out. And we're very, very close on that one already. So I think there's a really good chance. And I hope that we one day can get our league up high enough that we just get an automatic pot 1 place just by the virtue of winning our league. So that would be very, very nice as well. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this season, I really hope you have, quite frankly. It's been fun regardless of the fact that we went out at the same stage again. Drop a like on the video. That would be magnificent. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Join you guys later for analysis video, which I'll record tomorrow. And then, of course, transfer goodies. We've got a £55 million transfer fund. Don't know how I'm going to spend it, but if we do see a player that will actually sign for us that will cost a lot of money, I will go in for them because we've got 70 million in the bank now. We need to do something with that money. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.